Good morning, everyone. We're live from Houston, Texas. This is Thursday, August 30th, and show number 89. I'm giggling because Cindy was looking at the placeholder photo and saying, "You're frozen." That's how photos work, Cindy. Unless you're on Harry Potter, which we're not. So maybe I'm moving now. Hope so. So lots of people in the chat room. It's always so much fun when people show up early. Captain Charles and Captain Diana have been here chatting with me. Captain Maggie and Captain Deborah showed up, as did Captain Cindy. Welcome. It's good to see all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know some of you have already started the long weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, so hopefully you've already started having fun. So Captain Cindy says, there you are. So I must have magically started talking. Well, good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. The doggies are at daycare. They go to daycare on Thursday, and then they get a bath in the afternoon. That may change as I tighten up my budget. I may start bathing the dogs myself. That'll save me some money every week. I do like them to go to daycare once a week for socialization, so I'm going to try to hold on to that for a while, but you never know. So since, dogs are at daycare, I have a little bit of extra time because they're not around underfoot. So I'm going to go get the truck washed, which will guarantee it will rain. It seems to, Smurfy's Law seems to kick in with me. Good morning, Captain Melissa. I'm glad you're here. Captain Charles, it is a PG show, but I'm glad you're using headphones. It makes me feel more confident. Captain Maggie says, I've been making dishcloths and each one is a different cable pattern. I have to add reversible cables to the next one. Good idea, Captain Maggie. Reversible cables are a lot of fun. And knit and crochet dishcloths are great. You know, they're just enough texture to get your dishes clean. And you can throw them in the wash and you can bleach them, and you can also throw them in the microwave to disinfect them. So they're fantastic. Captain Cindy said, I wish that washing the car, it would rain tricked work in well, it doesn't in Southern, never rains in Southern California. It sounds like a country song, but that's what I've heard. It doesn't rain there. So yeah, I'm going to go get the truck washed, but you know what I keep avoiding is I keep avoiding doing the inside of it too, and it needs to be vacuumed. There's a lot of dog hair. And in the back of the truck, I actually have it's like a waterproof, I don't know, it's like a hammock sort of situation. It hooks on the headrests, and it's waterproof. So when the big dogs get in there, and if they happen to still be wet or muddy or something, it doesn't get the seats dirty. Well, that needs to come out, and it needs to get washed also periodically. So I'll probably work on that. Yesterday, I had a lot of work to do when the show was over. Like I said, I hadn't done much on my attack plan by the time the show started. That's the way it worked out. So yesterday afternoon there was a lot of doing stuff, but I'm glad because it's a long weekend coming up and I want to be all caught up so I can enjoy myself this weekend. Captain Cheryl says she hung out clothes outside to dry and then it rained. Oh, you know what? I saw that on Instagram, Captain Cheryl. Well, you know what? We need the rain, so keep hanging out your clothes. Well, you remember I'm trying to cut my budget. That's the theme of life so far this week. And so I went to the grocery store and I have this little budget app that I downloaded. Not sure it's worth recommending yet, but if it works out, I'll let you know if it's worth it. But I punched in, got to the parking lot and punched in how much I spent, how much is left for the rest of the week. It's so weird when you start watching like every single penny, every single moment. It's like, oh my gosh, turn off all the lights. What are we? Air conditioning the outdoors? Get off my lawn. I'm running through the house like Joey on Friends, shutting off all the lights. But Captain Teresa yesterday in the comment section brought up an interesting subject that I had forgotten about. I had heard about it previously, as far as saving money on electricity. And she was talking about the energy vampires. I've heard of it, but I hadn't really researched it too much. So I was looking it up, Googling it yesterday. And it turns out that there are a lot of things in our house that use energy even if we're not using the items, and they call those energy vampires. And so I'm going to start taking away the vampire's ability to suck energy. If I'm not using whatever is sucking the energy, seriously, what's the point? If I had solar power and it really didn't matter, I wouldn't worry about it. But why pay for energy that's not benefiting me or my household? Some of the things that can be energy vampires are computers and modems and routers. And have you ever noticed that the new flat screen TVs, when they first came out, if you turned them on, they took a while to turn on, and now if you turn them on, they're instantly on. The reason they're instantly on is because they're continuously pulling power, so that they have this power reserve. So the moment you push the on button, the screen turns on. So that's continuously pulling power. Cable boxes. So if you're not home, you're at work, and your cable box is on, it's sucking power. So, and of course, appliances that have clocks. I mean, that seems so obvious, but if you have an appliance that has a clock on it, like a microwave or something, or a coffee maker, that's going to be using power too. And, surround sound systems. So if you have a surround sound system hooked up to your TV, and it's plugged in, it's going to be drawing power even if you're not using it. The thing is each one of those things might be little, but they all add up. So if you're looking at, like, I'm trying to cut 10% from my electricity use, that's my goal. So you start adding in all these little things. They're on standby at all times. Your little iPhone charger. Sometimes if you feel that charger, even if it's not plugged in, it'll feel warm. It's because that's like a little energy bank, and it's pulling the power in there, and the power sits in that little energy bank before it goes out the cord to your device. So if those are plugged in, those are pulling power. It's a little bit. It's like it's just sucking a little bit. That's why they call them vampires. So things you can do, I've discovered things you can do to stop the vampires is you can unplug all your appliances and chargers when you're not using them. Obviously, don't unplug your refrigerator. Captain Housekeeper says, use common sense. But if your microwave has a clock on it and you're not using it and it's just sitting there on your counter, you can unplug it. You can unplug the coffee maker all day long. But they do have something that I found that I'm going to invest in myself, is they have power strips. I have a lot of things on power strips because I want the surge protection, so it doesn't burn out the electronic. But they have them now where each plug has a little switch on it. Instead of a switch for the entire power strip, there's actually switches for each plug. So I threw one in my Amazon product page, which is in the show description. If you click on products I've mentioned, I threw one in there so you can see what I mean. And I'm going to get a couple of these. And then when you can just click that little thing on, and the power will go into your charger or whatever it is you have sitting there. And then when you're done, you can just flip that switch, and it sounds like that'll be an easy way to maintain turning things on and off. If you turn off anything for your computer that's considered like on the periphery, like routers or printers or any extra, like a scanner, anything like that, if it's plugged in, it's drawing a tiny bit of power. So those little vampires add up. So I'll let you know, I'm going to start today. I've already kind of gone through the house and evaluated what I can start unplugging, because I want to shave off 10%, and I can't do it by raising the air conditioner to 85. I don't look good in stripes or orange, so we need to keep it at least cool enough that I stay sane, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so that's my Captain Teresa brought that up in the comments. Thank you yesterday, Captain Teresa. I don't know if you're here. I didn't see you pop in. She usually pops in and has to pop out because her boss is watching. So anyway, lots of stuff came in. Oh, look at all this. Oh, wow, I can't keep up. Yay, I love it when everyone's commenting. This is great. Captain Charles says, when Texas deregulated the power, you could change to a lower rate. Oh, that's right. You're right. So you can choose who provides your energy. and manipulate the rates that way. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you, Charles. Captain Cindy says, my husband would lose his mind if I unplugged his stuff. Well, you know, if your budget can handle it, Cindy, go for it. I'm doing this experiment where I need to cut 10% of my energy use, and I'm not raising the air conditioner any further. Captain Angela says we need those power strips. We have lots of them. Well, you can see the ones I mean by looking at my Amazon product page. I'm sure they're like at Home Depot and Lowe's, and you know, but I like those ones where it has all the switches. I think that'll be very convenient. Captain Maggie says she knows a woman who unplugs everything because she thinks she'll start a fire. Well, you know, I've been worried about my coffee maker lately. I keep thinking that's steam coming out the back, but I don't. I try to sniff it to see if it's smoke. I'm convinced it's steam, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm probably going to start unplugging it too. I definitely turn it off. It has an auto off feature, but I definitely turn it off when I'm finished using it. But I'm going to start unplugging it too. You know, depending on your wiring and how much power it's drawing, you know, there probably could be a minor fire hazard. I don't know. I'm sure with new electricity or new cables and stuff, it doesn't. It's probably not. Oh, Captain Cindy doesn't have an air conditioner. Let me guess, you don't have humidity either. You know, when I visit places where there's no humidity and I walk down the street and I'm not drenched in sweat, I always think, people get to live here. People get to live under these conditions. And then my airplane lands in Houston and the windows get wet from the humidity. You can't see out them anymore. But everything's green. I can grow plants effortlessly all year round. So anyway, today, I'm going to wash the truck. I'm going to try to get the inside vacuumed out. I always get I take it to a car wash near here, and they always give me a token for the vacuum. So I have a cup holder full of tokens because I never get around to doing it. But I need to get the inside of the windows cleaned. Driving back from the daycare this morning, I was facing east, and I couldn't really see out the windows very well. Safety first, right? But yeah, I tend to skip that step. So I need to do the inside of the windows. Captain Michelle says her dad lives in New Mexico and uses solar power and gets money back. Yeah, Captain Pam, who comes in here sometimes, Michelle, also has full solar power and makes money off from her energy. And she has a pool and an air conditioner. So I had a nice young man came here from the solar power company. It's been probably 2 years now. I had the pool, but it's been about 2 years. And he, you know, did a big, extensive, he had a computer system where he plugged in all the dimensions and everything, and we have too many trees. We have enough sun. Lots of people in Houston are running off 100% solar, so there's plenty of sun for that year round. But my neighborhood has too many trees. So it could run at 28% is what they said. And it needed to be up to like 48%. So I just have to turn up the air conditioner warmer. Yeah. Oh, Captain Maggie says that she's looked into windmills because, well, Captain Maggie's up in Michigan. It's very overcast in the winter there, so that would be tricky with solar. But if you have a continuous wind, like coming off Lake Michigan or a breeze off the Gulf here, I think windmills are a great idea. I saw a windmill that was very clever that, I don't remember where I saw it. I think I was at REI. What you could do is you could hang it in a tree and just the wind would spin it. It was like a windsock. But it was made of a material that you could also put it in like if there was a creek there. So if the creek were moving, it would spin it also. And it was enough to power, they were showing it powering like charging your cell phone and a small LED light. It would probably charge an iPad too. But I thought it was clever how it could be in the wind or in the water. So if you had, you know, either one available to you, you could charge things. Yeah, I like this all alternative energy thing they're coming up with. Like more user friendly. Like Michelle's dad is able to make money off his house. I think that's great. It's fantastic. That's the way to go. Captain Michelle, I've heard windmills make a lot of noise too, but I think it depends on the style. They're coming up with a lot of new styles that aren't quite so big, and some of them are like towers that spin real fast, and they're just you know, normal size, not like massive. Those giant ones out in West Texas, I mean, those things are massive. It's unbelievable how big they are, and I've heard they create you know, wind pollution too. So anyway, all right. Well, I got to go wash my truck and eat some lunch. Got a big day ahead of me. I'm desperately getting ready for the long weekend. I want to have everything done so we can just have fun this weekend. Luckily this year we're not getting hit by a hurricane, so it'll be a little bit more fun this year. You know, what with no flooding and stuff like that. Every time a hurricane comes near me, I get texts from my friends from Michigan going, "Why do you live there?" It's like, because I can grow vegetables in December. So anyway, have a great day, everyone. It's always so lovely when you're here. You know, just because you're in charge of your house doesn't mean you have to do everything. Automate and delegate whenever possible. I say that every day, but I really mean it. And say it with me, everyone. No matter what life throws at me, I have the ability to make this a fantastic day. All right, love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central in the USA. Bye-bye.